All right, welcome everyone, and thank you for joining us for a tour of Autodesk Account as part of our Up and Ready series. My name is Elizabeth Welsh, and I'll be narrating our tour today. So during the presentation, please feel free to type in any questions or feedback into the chat window, and we will answer what we can during the webinar and follow up with any unanswered inquiries afterwards. We welcome all your feedback and would like to hear your thoughts and questions. So to begin, as of last spring, subscription customers now access Autodesk Account instead of Subscription Center. We've retired our Subscription Center, making Autodesk Accounts the one place to access your products, services, and subscription benefits. This will apply to maintenance and desktop subscription, cloud services, non-subscription licenses, and free services like trials. So the first thing to know is when you log on to your Autodesk account, there are 14 languages available globally. The URL for your reference is www.autodesk.com/account. Any previous links you might have had to the Subscription Center will automatically redirect you to Autodesk Accounts, and it might be helpful to bookmark the Autodesk Accounts URL for easy access going forward. So before we dive into exploring the interface, let's go through some of the benefits of the new Autodesk account. Our goal from the feedback we received was to help design Autodesk Account as a more intuitive, interactive portal to get you where you need to go faster. We've created a more streamlined user interface, making it easier to access products, services, and benefits. Autodesk Account also provides a personalized experience, serving content based on roles and benefits. This means that if you're a contract manager, software coordinator, or end user, there will be different tools available for each role and provided automatically so that you don't have to guess what options should be available. So while we explore the new account interface, the experience is generally going to be the same for everyone unless we specifically call it out. All of these changes lead to a more efficient performance and provide a single location for all things Autodesk. The Autodesk account interface is simple to navigate. We're going to start the navigation on the top left-hand panel. This panel is going to give us access to our products, our updates, cloud services, user information, and device management. We will be exploring these in further detail as we continue on. So now we're going to move over to that middle column where our drawers reside. Anytime you see these arrows, click on them and it will expand that drawer to more information about your product or subscription. Moving across the top, this upper navigation includes access to your profile and management pages, which is the page that we're on now. The management page is the page that would get us to the downloads, license information, managing users, and more. The support tab is also on this page, and notice that it's now located on the top right-hand side. A little further down, action buttons and menus are on the right-hand side to quickly perform tasks. These are where many of the Subscription Center functions have now carried over, but all in a more centralized place. And then back on the left, Quick Links gives you access to additional content. Right now we're seeing Network License Manager and Product Enhancements, but depending on which roles and products you have, the links may be different. And just to clarify, when we talk about roles, we're referring to contract managers or software coordinators who would be the administrators of the account, and then end users. Okay, so let's jump into exploring your Autodesk profile and making sure all of your user information is correct. Okay, let's start with your language preference. So you can choose in which language you'd like to use your Autodesk account, and again, those 14 languages we mentioned earlier in the presentation are available, and any communications will be sent in that language you select. You can also opt in or out to receive email communications from Autodesk here. This would include information about new products and promotions. So let's move over to the key icon for security settings, where you can update your email address, user ID, and password. You can see options to change each of these account identifiers with the blue buttons on the right-hand side. A new addition to your security settings is at the bottom, called the two-step verification option. By setting this up, a second level of authentication is added during your login to your account. The options for that second level of verification are voice call, SMS messaging, an authenticator app, or email. All right, so after making sure your login information is set up correctly, we can click over on the left to the My Profile section. This is where an admin or a user can add personal information like a short biography, professional information, or an address. And just a quick note on the address, this would be a personal address, and updating this won't change your overall company or shipping address. To have that updated in our system of record, the admin would have to contact their reseller or Autodesk customer service to make any changes there. This profile is what information you want to show when you create a profile on other Autodesk web properties like applications or our Autodesk forums. And finally, we can link our profile to any social media accounts on the Linked Accounts tab. Linked accounts will allow us to access any of the services you see at the bottom there. And when you access an Autodesk web application, it should give you the option to log in using any one of these accounts, which would then link it to your Autodesk account page. So for example, let's say the application I want to work with is Autodesk Remote. When I hit the Subscription App button, I'm prompted to sign in with my Autodesk account, or at the bottom it gives me the choice to sign in using other app accounts. Once you link the accounts, those other options for sign-in will populate at the bottom. So let's take a look at our Products and Services page. This is probably the main page for most of the vital account functions like downloading, locating serial numbers, requesting previous versions, and more. So we've gone back to that main landing page under Management, where most of the products and services are listed. So to download a product, click on Products and Services on the left-hand navigation where that little cube icon is. If you'd like to filter just your products and not any of the 360 cloud services, hit the Products line. This might help get you to your desired downloads faster, especially if you have a large account. You may have a lot of products and services to navigate. So going over to the right side, you'll see the Download Now button and then more actions underneath it. The default download option does depend on the number of seats you have. So if you have a single seat license, the default is Install Now, as you can see with the Alias Surface product that's listed on the top. The AutoCAD product, which is a multi-seat license, has the Download Now option. You'll still have the option under that More Actions button to choose any of the three methods, and this would also be where the browser download is located. Another note for Mac users, you will only have the browser download option and not the Install Now option. So a window will pop up and you can select the version, platform, and language. All admins and users who are assigned permissions to download can do so from this page. If an admin has not given a user permission to download a product, it will not appear on Products and Services. So we'll be taking a look at the admin tools a little bit later to help make sure your users have the access they need. All right, so moving on to accessing those cloud services that might come with your subscription. We're going to head back to that Products and Services page and then filter by services. Your cloud services are clearly labeled, which would be included with subscription as part of those benefits. Instead of the download button, we now have an Access Now button to get us to the cloud service. A window will then pop up indicating that particular service once we click there. And just to clarify, an admin will also have to assign a user access to cloud services, or it will not appear on that list when they log in. So that was our Products and Services page. Now let's take a look at the product updates. Admins and users who have permission can come here to access any product updates, enhancements, and extensions available for your 2016 products and any new releases that may come out. So when I select a product update, I'm going to click on one of those handy drawers. It expands, and you can ignore it or choose to download that update. You may also get notifications from the Application Manager from within your product. This is a component available in the 2016 products that deliver updates right to the desktop. For more information on the Application Manager, feel free to visit www.autodesk.com/application manager. So product updates and enhancements for 2016 and earlier versions of the software will still be available, but you will access them through this quick link on the left, which would be product enhancements. So over time, as this content gets older and less relevant, it will eventually go away as they might get built into future releases. And the product updates page will also become the one place to get all product updates, enhancements, and extensions for your Autodesk software. On the Products and Services page, you might notice an additional button that says Download Products. Although anyone can see it, this is really meant for you to access software that may be from a subscription that's expired longer than 30 days, or previous versions of the software no longer attached to an agreement. When you have a perpetual license, you still have access to previous version licenses, but it will no longer appear on the main Products and Services page. So for viewing those product and services details, we took a look at those drawers earlier, and these are a great feature of Autodesk Account. No matter where you are in Autodesk Account, you can get more information about that product, download previous versions, access serial numbers and contract details, and product help just by clicking those arrows to expand the drawers. Users will have access to these drawers, but it does not show all the information that admins can see. Here is where some of that personalized experience comes in. So this is an expanded view of what an administrator would see. They can see the license information here, but when we take a look at the user view, we can see that the contract manager has set permissions in such a way that prevent the user from accessing that license information. Again, this is where we would get a feel for a more personalized view of the Autodesk account because we're seeing what's specifically applicable to you based on your role. These same drawers come in handy for cloud service details. Notice that we've spent quite a bit of time on this same products and services page because there's really a lot you can do here from this main area. If I click on services and expand the drawer for Green Building Studio, there are some additional notes here for further product information. One of the pieces of feedback we've gotten is that a lot of people still have some questions about cloud services, what they are, how to use them, how to access them. So we created an additional area to describe those services. This section lets you know you have this available because it's included with your subscription. There's a description of the service to let you know how it might interact with your existing software or enhance it, and then some additional links for more product information and help. It's important to remember that cloud services would not show up for users unless an admin has assigned them as a named user. So once they're added as a named user, they should see this service. On a side note, storage for A360 Drive also appears underneath with services. So back on the products page, when we first were on this page, we talked about navigating to the Download Now button. The More Actions button is across from it, and when we expand, we have a few more options. This first menu would appear if I was an admin with desktop subscription. You'll see this menu and be able to view your serial numbers, get to user access, manage your subscription order, and more. When we click on the Downloads button, we'll see another screen with our download options. So underneath Install Now, we have the choice for additional download methods. Across the top, we can also view serial numbers, get to user access, and visit updates and add-ons for product enhancements. If I look at a menu for a user with a different type of product, a networked license with maintenance subscription, for example, the menu will look a little bit different. Now we see options for getting a previous version, a home use license, and getting a physical copy of the software. Again, we see this personalization that shows you what you're designed to have access to. So here's a quick example of the view for a student account. Student accounts will only have the download option from the Products and Services page, whereas educational institution accounts that are provided with network licenses will have similar options as we saw before under More Actions for requesting home use licenses, etc. Moving on, one of the best benefits of subscription is that it features flexible licensing rights, so users can have the right tools at the right time wherever their location. Let's start with requesting your previous version. So we're still on that Products and Services page under the Products tab. Having access to previous versions of the software means you can be better prepared to work with customers who may not be using the latest Autodesk technology. In Autodesk Account, from the Action menus on the Products and Services page, you can click Get Previous Versions, and then a window will pop up. So from this window, you'll see what you need to do next based on what type of subscription you have. Based on your license and your type of subscription, this will help guide you to the next steps. So if I have a standalone license on maintenance subscription, you'll be directed to send a request to customer service to create that previous version for you. Whereas with a networked license on subscription, it would be included with your network license file already. It's a very similar process for requesting a home use license. Being able to use the same license at the office and on a home computer provides that extra flexibility you might need. So in Autodesk Account, admins can click on More Actions and then select Get Home Use License, and then another window will pop up. From this window, you will see what you need to do next based on what type of subscription you have. So for standalone licenses, simply use this existing serial number, and for networked licenses, this will direct you to send another request so that you can work offline if you're out in the field or working from home. For home use, educational institution customers should refer their students and educators to the education community. So moving on to support. The maintenance subscription and desktop subscription program include technical support to keep you productive in case you run into any issues with your software. If you're interested in additional support options to augment your existing support level, feel free to contact one of our authorized resellers. They can assist with upping your support to advanced or enterprise priority level support. So we begin first with accessing our self-help options. From the top navigation, click on Support. And there are a number of options to access support for all customers, but for self-help, click Browse Support and Learning. That will bring up a page directing us to the Autodesk Knowledge Network, where you will find our extensive library of tutorials, videos, and articles, including access to Autodesk forums where you can get community support. All right, so what if I need to submit a support case? You would expand the support menu again and click on Contact Us. The support content available on the Contact Us page is highly organized to serve up top solutions that are curated on a weekly basis so you can gain access to answers faster. You might be able to find the information you need in an article there that could resolve the issue right away. This page is also personalized for how we're logged in, so it delivers details depending on if you have subscription or not, and whether you have advanced support or enterprise priority support. Contact Us is still a work in progress and will continue to be approved on and will deliver more features in the future. To view past and present cases or create a new support ticket, we would pull that support menu down and click on View My Support Cases. This is one of the main aspects of Subscription Center that was moved over last spring, so it's now under that Support tab. Based on your subscription level, you may see a phone number there if you have advanced or enterprise support, options to create a technical support case, and so on. The Case Center is also where you can set permissions for resellers to view your Autodesk support cases, and that's right underneath where the phone support would be on the right-hand side. So now we're going to explore managing users, how to add them, and assigning benefits so that your users can access those products and services. The following features can only be accessed by contract managers or software coordinators. This area of the Autodesk account would be the control area for adding access and modifying permissions for support. As a contract manager or a software coordinator, you can add users by going to the Users icon, then click Add, and fill out the fields for name and email address in the window that pops up. You can add a single user, or if you have many users, you can use the Bulk Add option to add users with 50 at a time. Since users will not be able to create their own accounts to be automatically linked to your subscription, this is an important function to remember. And regarding the Bulk Add option, we understand that some of you may have thousands of users at a time, but please note that you would not have to re-add them due to the switchover last spring from the Subscription Center, and any existing users should already be there. So once you click Save, those users will receive an email noting their access has changed, and they will be prompted to log into Autodesk accounts. Until they do, there will be a little gray circle next to their name noting a pending status, and once they log in, you'll see the status change over to a little green check mark. To edit the permissions for existing users, you can use the Search and Filter function to find a user. For example, you want to locate everyone who has permissions for specific products or services. So once you've found your user, you can click on the drawer and see what benefits that user currently has and what contracts they're attached to. Then you would click Edit Access to make any needed changes. A new window will appear, and here is where you can assign or unassign, check or uncheck product downloads, enhancements, web support, or cloud services. When we were on that products and services page from before, your users would have to be assigned to those items here to be able to view them in that page. And this is where the admins would go to do that. So again, if you have a lot of users, you'll definitely want to take advantage of the bulk edit option. Once you've added your users, select the users icon on the left, and then from the action menu up top, select Edit Access. Make sure to check off those users on the left that you need to edit. A new window will pop up, and here is where you can assign or unassign benefits. Any changes made will affect all the users selected, regardless of which user comes up first. To show a little more detail, we can expand the drawers next to each product and service. Depending on your product, there may be additional services to assign to your user, including rendering, cloud services, storage, etc. So if any of your users report inability to access a particular service, you will want to make sure that you've checked this area first to ensure that they're assigned to that service. So there are a few scenarios you might encounter in this part of your Autodesk account in which you'll definitely want to contact our customer care team for assistance. One scenario is that you may go to your Manage Users page, but the page is blank. If you're unable to add yourself as a user, please open a case or chat with our customer care team so that we can take a look at the account. Another scenario that may occur would be when you attempt to add a user or edit a user's permissions, a blank page appears with a spinning wheel. After several minutes, the wheel remains and you are unable to edit or save any changes. Again, you'll want to reach out to our customer care team through the support methods we discussed in the previous section to assist with any possible account sync issues. So next up, let's say you're the contract manager and you need some help providing access and managing the licenses. One of the things you can do is assign a software coordinator to help take care of a group of users. This person would receive notifications about any product releases, and they can also add users and request previous versions and home use licenses. When you're signed in as the contract manager, under the Quick Links area to the left, you would want to click on Manage Software Coordinators. A new window appears, and then you add, edit, or remove a software coordinator. And just a quick side note, you can only have one software coordinator per serial number, even if they're multi-seat serial numbers. All right, so we've added a software coordinator, and now, if you have advanced or enterprise priority support, you or your software coordinator can add or manage named callers by going to Quick Links again, then selecting Manage Phone Support Users. When the new window pops up, you can edit, add, or remove users who you'd like to add the benefit of phone support to. So now on to managing devices. Working our way down that left navigation pane, click on the icon with the computers. This will give you information about the machines and the users that have logged in and accessed this contract information. One key point when you're in the Managing Devices window is that you will have to accept an agreement because there is some personally identifiable information that's revealed here. You'll see the computers that have logged in, the name of the device, device description, which are a few things you might consider to be personal information. So you can choose to accept this or close out this page and return to the previous one. While we're still under the administrator role, we'll go over how contract managers and software coordinators can view contract details and where you can check your renewal information. Although the License Asset Report previously located in Subscription Center is not yet present in Autodesk account, it's easy to view contract details by clicking on that little icon on the left that looks like a sheet of paper. This is our billing and orders function showing current agreements. So you would click on this to see a master list of all the contracts. In the visual on this slide, I just have the one. So you can click on a contract to see more details like contract number, start and expiration dates. You can even purchase more cloud credits from here. As this would be the top of the screen, when you scroll down, you can see all the rest of the product details that come up for that contract. This is also where you can see if a maintenance contract is up for renewal and how to contact your reseller to renew. Here's an example of what a desktop subscription would look like in the billing and orders area. We can see the date of auto renewal, options for editing our payment, and current cost. You can also access contract details from various points throughout your Autodesk account, like from the product details drawers that we saw earlier and the action menus. And lastly, we'll talk a little bit about the reporting functions. Contract managers, software coordinators, and users have access to reporting here to measure the availability of cloud credits and storage. So right under that products and services bar under the management page, there's a reporting icon. Users can see the availability of their individual cloud credits. Admins can see their own individual cloud credits plus the usage of shared cloud credits. Again, users can see their own individual credits but cannot see the overall shared cloud credits for those contracts. Shared credits would have been purchased by the company to be shared by all users. Now, one cool feature of Autodesk Account that I want to point out is the in-context help, which is located in that little eye icon. Peppered throughout Autodesk Account are these little eye buttons for more information. If hovered over, you will learn more about that particular item. Admins also can see how the cloud credits are being consumed by the user. This way you can see who needs more of the shared cloud credits. To learn more about the information that we've covered today, click the links on the screen to access the FAQ, tutorials, or webinars. We'll be sending out a recording of the webinar today in case you'd like to send this information to any of your colleagues. If you need further assistance, please feel free to contact your authorized Autodesk reseller. Our goal today was to get you started and more familiar with the Autodesk account experience. There are other features you can explore on your own, like trials, the Network License Manager under Quick Links, also tutorials, and then if you'd like to give us any feedback. We will continue to improve Autodesk Account, so providing your feedback will help shape the future of our customer experience. If there are any questions that haven't been answered in the chat panel, we can try and take a little time to answer some of those now, and also feel free to provide any feedback as well. Any questions we aren't able to answer at this time, we can follow up with you directly. Hi everyone, we see your chat questions coming in, so we're going to take a few minutes to try and answer these through the chat panel, and any ones that we're not able to answer right away, we will absolutely follow up with you directly, so stand by.
So Liz, we have a question here from Neural, how to change the contract manager. Can you tell us how to do that?
Yeah, that's an excellent question. So that's something that our customer care team can assist with. So if you are able to open a case through the support methods we discussed earlier or through the chat, that's something that we can take care of on our back end and make the change for you.
I have another question for you.
Okay.
Is it possible to merge accounts if a user has two accounts created with different email addresses? Is that something we should raise a case for?
Absolutely, yes. That's another great example of when to contact customer care. We just want to be a little bit careful because we want to make sure that all of your data is intact and that you have all the license access that you need still and all possible forums posts and things like that. So that's another great example of when to contact customer support.
Another question here for Jason DeLeon. For us with maintenance subscription, how are we going to have Autodesk again? So I guess he's asking, is our maintenance subscription customers catered for with an Autodesk account?
Absolutely, 100%, yes. The information is going to be exactly the same as it was in Subscription Center. It's just going to look a little bit different. You might go to a few different places to find it, but you'll absolutely have the exact same access as before.
So the questions are coming in thick and fast. The one from Daryl: how do I become an administrator?
That's another great question. So I guess it depends on if you were the main contact of the licenses when they were purchased, you'd already be an administrator. Another situation where you'd want to contact customer care, we'd want to make sure that your current administrator is aware of the need to switch over administrator roles, and then that's a change that we can make for you on their behalf.
Okay, I have another question here that I think is probably going to be a similar answer. It's from Geraldine Tang.
Okay.
What happens if we change the contract manager of the account? The admin will change as well?
Yes, that's exactly correct. So you have a contract manager and a software coordinator, so there's really the potential for two administrator functions since they operate very similarly. So yes, so the whoever is assigned to the license, that terminology is really expressed as the contact, the account manager, whoever the administrator of the license or agreement would be.
Gotcha. Okay.
Hopefully I answered that.
I think that sounds good. So we have a bit more of a technical one, which Andrew may be able to help us with. But many a time when we try to download software via the download option, download manager executable runs, but it doesn't download the software. Is that an issue? A common issue?
That is a common issue. The download now option uses a third-party downloader, which can occasionally be problematic. In my experience, the least problematic download method would be the browser download method. So although it does require an internet connection, I've had a lot more success with that. So our browser downloads are available at Autodesk.com, and if you just type in virtual agent up at the top right search bar, that'll get you to a page that has all of our exe files on it.
Excellent tips. Another one from Fatin. Can we now buy online software, Autodesk software from Autodesk account?
That's an excellent question. I hope it's on the roadmap for the future because we actually get quite a few inquiries about that. So I'll absolutely pass along the feedback. I know that we're working on making the purchase process a little more streamlined, so I'd be happy to follow up on that one.
We have another question that's not quite on the Autodesk account one, but how do we get access to AU papers and files? Well, there's an area called AU Online that you can go to, Max. So you just go to Autodesk.com and you should be able to search for AU Online, and all the files and videos and bits and pieces will be on there. Okay, got one from Abdul. In my account, I have only two tabs, Product and Reporting. Under Product, how do I make the installed product available under the Product tab?
That's an excellent question. It can depend on whether or not you're an end user or if possibly it's a student account. So I guess we would just need to take a look at the serial number so that we can determine, the type of license you have to see if you should have some of those other options we discussed, like the user management and other products and services. So I guess it mostly just depends on your license type, but we can definitely follow up with you, Abdul, to see what's going on with your account.
And that's it at the moment. We're no more questions. So we'll keep the line open for another couple of minutes for any other questions that you may have or may be thinking of. Abdul's replied saying I'm currently the user.
Great. So we can definitely follow up with you, Abdul, to see what's going on. So unless you're an administrator, if you're not the contract manager, you're not going to see some of those other options we talked about, like the managing user permissions and things like that. So you'll just have the download available to you. Hopefully you have the download available to you in your account, but if not, we can definitely take a look at that for you.
We have a bit of a teaser from Ranjit here. I have 6 seats with a standalone license. 2 of my computers have crashed and I need to port those licenses to the new hard drives I have installed, but I do not have the backup of the licenses available. Do I just contact customer support regarding this?
Yeah, absolutely. We can provide anything from extra downloads to your license information if you don't have access to that, and we can also help you with the installation process if necessary.
One from Lucilla. Has all data from previous subscription center transitioned to Autodesk account?
That's a really good question. I would say for the majority, yes. One item that we mentioned, the license asset report, that hasn't moved over quite yet. There is a separate way to get to the license report function, and we can also follow up with you as well if that's something that you're looking for. Chris, I'm not sure, are there any other items that you can think of that haven't been moved over from Subscription Center?
Not at the moment.
Okay.
No, I think that's pretty much everything. You don't more than I do.
I try. So I see another question from Ernie about why does the managed devices not show all the computers which have installed the products? So we don't actually track installations there. That's a common misconception about the managing devices area. The managed devices area just lists computers that have accessed administrator functions of the account for a particular contract. So it mostly just applies to administrators. It actually doesn't have anything to do with who's installed the serial number or who's installed the product from their account. So it's who's accessed administrative functions, using an admin login.
We have one from a mole that says, how can I borrow out a network license if I want to use it outside our network? For example, if I want to use it on a network license laptop.
Yeah, so that's exactly what the home use license is for. So basically what that does is, so through your account, when you request a home use license, if you're a contract manager, software coordinator, you can do that. It provides you with a separate standalone serial number that's attached to your subscription agreement and is a special benefit of that subscription. So it's a separate serial number from your networked serial number, and it allows you to use it offline at various locations.
Sherman has asked, how can you remove devices from the Manage Devices section?
That is a fantastic question, and I'm going to have to look into that, but I'd be happy to follow up, Sherman.
Okay. Francis has asked how to maximize support of the products. Not sure I understand that one. Francis, can you go into a bit more detail on that, please?
In the meantime, we have a follow-up question from Ernie about the managed devices, not showing all the computers that have installed the products. Honestly, I think it's part of one of those privacy issues that Autodesk doesn't necessarily want to broach just yet with our users. It's really up to the user to manage their licenses in accordance with the license agreement and manage their own usage of the product. So it's just something that our systems aren't necessarily able to track at this point, and it's also got a little bit to do with privacy.
So there's nothing else coming in at the moment. We'll wait a couple of minutes and see if any other questions occur.
Great. So we've got another question from Andrea. She says, hi there, is there a live chat option for customers? And there absolutely is. So on that Contact Us page that we mentioned earlier, you can get there by going to your Autodesk account and then clicking on Support. And then there's a Contact Us button there. Once you filter through a few of the clarifying questions that page wants to ask you, like, is this in regards to a purchase? Are you having difficulty downloading? They might give you some options to look through a few articles first, but there will be a chat button on the bottom of the page, and as soon as the little yellow circle goes green, that's your green light to click on the chat, which will ask you for some basic information like your email address, your first and last name, and then that'll put you through to customer service.
Like license and serial number will still be seen in Autodesk account?
Yes, absolutely. Yes. And even for those previous versions, you'll still see anything from our supported versions, which is 2013 and up, you'll have your serial number and download available. Excellent.
And Grant Fisher is asking, can I access previous webinars on installation? You can, but you can't on Autodesk account. We have a YouTube channel, which we'll be sending all the details out in an email after the webinar is finished. So we'll give you access to the slide deck and to the recording of this, and you'll have access to other webinars that we've produced in this series on installations and licensing.
Perfect. Thanks, Chris.
You're welcome.
So we've got another question about software coordinators. How can we change software coordinators? Do we go through Manage Software Coordinators and then the option to add or remove? that would definitely be the place to go. A quick thing to note again is that you'll only be able to have one software coordinator per serial number. So even if you have a multi-seat serial number with 50 seats on it, you'll still only be able to have one software coordinator per serial number. So Pin, if you have difficulty with the software coordinator's function in your account, we'd be happy to follow up with you as well, so just let us know.
So one from Lucilla, who's a reseller. Hi, we are a partner. We have clients who advise they have several CSNs. Will this all be seen under one Autodesk account?
Yes, that's absolutely correct. So as long as that particular user or administrator is assigned in our system to all those customer-specific numbers, those CSNs, they should see every piece of software that they're supposed to have access to under each of those CSNs. So yes, the answer is yes.
Thanks, Liz.
Yep.
So, questions are drying up.